Welcome to Narrative Tales. In today's video, I will be interviewing Anirudh Juyal. This is Anirudh Juyal, and today we'll be talking about his experiences. So let's start with your education. What was your schooling and college like, and how was the experience?
Okay, so this was hi, uh, schooling and college. I'll be honest, schooling I've almost forgot. I have taken it out of my mind those years. It was great though. I studied at school in Jaipur, Maheshwari Public School. It's one of the bigger schools. Like there is DPS in Delhi. It's kind of like that school. So it was a lot into studies. There were there were less curricular activities. There were some. I was not one of the kids that used to go into them. I was the person who would just keep his head down and just study and get marks. Teachers won't know me. They just would know that he's a good kid. One thing that I always loved at that time as well was the computer classes. That came into the picture later on when I chose my course in college then. So I then did a bachelor's in technology in computer science from again a college in Jaipur as well, Purnima. Those were fun years because I could finally experiment with computers that I always wanted to do. I learned how they worked, how technology is changing almost everything in the world at this point, and there's no escape from it. So that was the experience. In college, I was more outgoing, more outspoken. School, not so much. In ninth, I met a group of friends that changed my personality very much. But yeah, that was all. There were some fun times. There was a lot of dread, existential crisis. What to do? How will the exams go on? Sleepless nights, crying. Yeah, but it was good.
Yeah. So you talked about the computer classes, right?
Yes.
So you went into computer science, right? So is this how you decided to join that?
Yes. So I'll say from the first time we got a desktop, and when I used to live in joint family in Delhi. So the first time when we got a computer, I saw that Windows XP, iconic Windows XP logo coming and it's starting, having no idea what's a Windows, how this thing works, and just playing pinball on it the whole day. There was this pinball game at that time. It intrigued me. The games intrigued me, but the working intrigued me. That was in 2005, I believe. Then I had my uncle, your father, he worked as a software engineer at that time. I only knew that. Slowly, then there were classes got to know. I just wanted to type on a computer even, nothing more. Using Paint or Word.
Yeah.
That slowly came to then coding, programming languages. Then there was no other choice. I just wanted to do this with my life. So it just led to computers then from there on. Computer science, not the hardware part. I know about hardwares, but I can't work on them. I can work on software only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the experience like when you went from school to college to the workforce? What were the differences between those environments?
One thing was, in school, they always used to tell us that you will have to work much harder in college. That was true to some extent, that we had to work much harder. But the experience altogether was very different. The teachers almost become your friends if they know you are good at something. Like there were our programming, coding, whichever coding languages we were studying at that time. So those teacher or even other subjects, if they knew you were good at practical, they almost became your friends. There was no need to sit in class for a long time. If you wanted and they know you could do it, they would just let you do whatever you want. And there was a lot more to explore in college since you could work on your own projects. School was always a fixed thing. 8 periods, start in the morning, have to stay till the end. College, you can leave whenever you want, come whenever you want. That was a new experience. And taking my mobile phone to classes, that was a big thing for me. At the beginning especially. Whenever I got bored, I was checking my mobile, hiding behind. Maybe I should not say that. But anyway, I mean, it was everyone did it. But yeah, that was a lot, a new experience, a fun experience, a new experience. Of course, then by the time you get to the end of your college, you then again get into the tension period of your life, like what to do now.
Right, yeah.
Will I get a job? Will I work on something of my own? Should I go for higher studies? That's not in school. School always is a fixed path. After school, you will go to college. That was a fixed path for me. After college, I was not sure, but yeah, I chose job then.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking about your job, how was that going from college to a job? What was the difference between that?
So so in India there are placements. I know in many countries placements are not a thing. Like we get job from the college itself. The companies come, they select us from the college campus, and then we get a job. So I got job in multiple. I selected Infosys. So it's service-based company, right? So one major thing why I selected Infosys was they gave a training at their Mysore campus. So it's a very large campus. It's a very high-class training. They train professionals because the thing is Infosys hires from many branches, not just computer science. So they don't differentiate and they train all of them to work for their company. So at the beginning, it was almost like college because in Mysore, you are not working. You are getting trained to work later on, whatever technology they want to train you in so that you can become a proper IT professional. And then when you move on from that training, now is when the college leaves you completely. Now you have a manager that tells you what to do, and you have to solve problems that people will help you with. But I mean, there's more at stake because now it's your job. In college, you can fail. You have your parents to help you. They will call your parents. Nobody calls your parents in the company. Right?
Oh yeah.
It's your choice. So that was it. There were many more experiences, but then I would just go on a big rant like how it changed. So that was how it was.
Yeah, yeah. So you talked about how the companies went to the college to recruit people graduating. What was that like near the end of your college where you had to think about impressing recruiters to hire you for a job? What was that like?
Oh, so what happens is when you complete your third year, right? So third year gets completed. It's mid-year, around mid-year. That is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, sixth sem gets completed. The seventh semester when starts, you start getting mails from college that this company or that company is coming. Start filling your forms now, and to sit into interviews. So now is when almost the real college starts, like the real experience of an adult life begins for us. Because now we know we have to sit in seats where we will be evaluated, and based on our not experience, expertise or skills, we will get a good job or a bad job, right? And at that point, it doesn't even matter if you are getting good scores at college, if you are giving exams properly, you just want that job now. You don't care about the practicals, the vivas, the labs, nothing. You just want that job. You just want whatever recruiter is coming to impress that recruiter. You start cramming. Almost there are 4 to 5 subjects in CS at that point where the recruiters ask question from operating system, DSA, then there is database management system. These are some common topics that you have to study. Then your projects, then you have to brush up on your project. There will be papers that the recruiters will take that will have coding questions, aptitude questions. You have to get ready for them as well. Also, you are competing with your whole, not only class, the whole CS department, whole computer science department. So at least 600 students, you are competing with them for a position in a good company. Yeah. So it gets you ready for life, I'll say. Like how competition changes your way of thinking. These are your friends that you sat with, but now you want them to get a job, but maybe you don't want them to get it before you. You want... So yeah, it changes you. Also, our college made us get a complete clean shave. I don't do that.
Oh.
So we all look very weird as well. Everyone, we never saw many of our batchmates without beard ever, and they all were coming clean shaven in the interviews. So some had less confidence as well. That was also something that happened. But yeah, then it got us ready for life. Like there will always be competition. You just have to excel, right?
Yeah. That must have been like a very stressful time, right?
Ah, yes. I mean, I used to have dreams that I'm sitting at an interview, and what would they ask? I would wake up in the morning. I remember when I had, it was Infosys interview, yes, this one. I did not sleep the whole night for this particular job.
Ooh.
And the interview was at 4 o'clock around in the afternoon. And when I gave the interview, I thought I had screwed it up. So I just came back and said to my mom, I don't think I'm getting this job. I don't know what happened. Because in your mind, you build it up to something worse than you did, right?
Yeah.
You never feel like it was the right thing that you did. You could have said something better. You could have been better. You could have asked a better question there. So it was dreadful. But yeah, I got the jobs then. So it was worth it, I'll say. It was worth it.
Yeah. So, okay, slightly different topic about your career. Who would you go to for career advice?
So, first would be, it has always been your father, right? It has always been him for me. When I got my first offer, that was a startup, I told him. We even discussed pros and cons of various companies. He keeps me current on the market trends, like what's going on, what you should study. You should go. I mean, telling me I should even go for higher studies still with a job. It has always been him that I go to career advice. That's the first person. Then there are more people, because job market in India is slightly different than US, right? So I have to have people here as well. So there's a senior from my college. We are good friends. We are neighbors. We have lived together since I was a kid. I've cried in front of him. I was very small at that time. So he helps me a lot. Then there is also a company colleague that has left now, but he helps me also a lot. So I have got multiple people, like first point of contact, then a person that has gone through the same experiences that me, person that is working on similar companies. So 3 people are there mostly. Also my mother. She is the moral police.
I see. Yeah.
Right, like what would be morally correct at this point?
I see.
That's
what you mean. Yeah. So, okay. Are you fascinated about the U.S. since you are in the tech industry, like where my dad works?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I can give it a fancy take, but just simple answer is yes. Just see, the biggest companies emerged there, right? The IT giants, the Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and now Tesla. Apple. They have always had people. They have given you. There's the Steve Jobs, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates, of course. How can I forget Bill Gates? Right. There have always been those people that have revolutionized everything, right? Apple brought the iPhone, it changed the mobile phones forever.
Right, yeah.
Now we have a single screen phone that we touch, right? There's nothing else. When Bill Gates introduced Windows, I mean, computers changed completely, right?
Oh, yeah. Completely changed, yeah.
Also Macintosh as well at that point. I mean, these two companies almost got computers into every home. Now we can't, I mean, even imagine what was it like for our parents not having a personal PC, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
personal PC is redundant. A PC. I mean, we can't even imagine, right? I mean, right now I'm talking to you on a mobile phone, and you knew I would have one, right? You did not have to ask me how you would contact. We had multiple ways, and all of this is done through these tech giants, right? I mean, and they worked on this. Now they are working on more. I mean, uh, it's a repeated topic, and everyone does not. Most people don't know how it will go. But AI, right? It's just changing everything at this point of time. We don't know how it will change, but these companies will always be at the head of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not take the name of Google. That's also right.
Oh, yeah, of
tech
course,
giant
of course.
I did not take that name, but yeah, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, they also.
Yeah.
That's why I've been fascinated by it. Like, how is it that it's being cultivated at that one country only?
Yeah, all of
Right?
this. Yeah, all of
Right?
these
Yeah.
completely revolutionary companies and technologies developed here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
really
of-
fascinating. What we take for granted.
Yeah, I mean, almost. I mean, it won't be a correct number what I'm going to do, but I guess most of the top 20 or even top 500 Fortune companies are from US, right? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
I may
Yeah.
be completely wrong here, but it may be. At least the top 10 are. I mean, many of them would be from there.
Yeah. I think most of them are U.S. companies.
Yeah, so it is fascinating, and
Yeah, tech-wise, I'm
it
pretty sure
has
like
been-
a lot of it are U.S. for tech.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So it's interesting how that one company managed to do it. Oh, sorry, that one country.
A country, yeah.
Yeah, how in that one country it all happened. So I've always been fascinated by that.
Yeah. So speaking of that revolutionary technology, next let's talk about AI, which is taking over the tech world and spreading very fast. So,
Yeah.
do you think AI is underhyped or overhyped, or maybe just hyped right?
So I will start this by saying this is just my take. Okay. I mean, this is just what I think. I think it's overhyped for people who don't understand what it is. Right?
Yeah.
And I won't say it is not underhyped any way. Maybe at some places people are not getting like how helpful it can be. I won't say it. I won't go into it till it will take our jobs and all that. I don't know about that. I honestly don't know what's that. But how I am using it, it's been a great help for me in my job. Right? I had to search for hours for some things. Now I can take its help to create things. It's not like I'm asking, it's building me everything. But there are some small questions that sometimes arise and it can quickly answer me. Like, if you can do this or you can do that. I'll give a very small example. Whenever we used to get errors before, right? We had to search through multiple. I mean, we had to do a Google search or a Bing search, whatever. Then we had to search from multiple websites how this error works and what it is. Then we even had to look at documentations of that technology. If the technology was new, then that is a new problem. Maybe that's an error that is not been documented yet, right?
Oh yeah.
But now with AI, I can write that and it can summarize for me what's the issue here.
Yeah, it's
So time save, right? It's saving our time. I mean, making us more efficient. So I guess people who know about it are clearly hyping it just as much as it needs to. And people who don't know are overhyping it also.
Right, thinking
People
it's some sort of like...
understand, right?
Yeah.
It will take your jobs and there will be nothing left for us to do. And AI will do everything that is done by humans. And so
Yeah.
it will change how we work, but I don't think it will take our jobs. It will surely change. It will change how we work. Of course it is. And it is changing.
Yeah.
So that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. So you said it won't take any jobs, right? What do you think about AI taking over things like art or writing?
That's one thing that's pretty weird to me. Like, why are we? It feels like just people want cost cutting at that point, right? I mean, humans need to get paid to write, to make something, to create even CGI, let's say, right? A lot of it is being used in AI.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, there have been recent movies where it is being used heavily, right? And we all can see that. I think it just misses that soul somehow.
Like a human
Uh,
touch, or
yeah, you can. I mean, you can almost tell that it was. This will be very very a basic way of saying this, but you can tell it is being done by a machine somehow. At
feels
least
much more
the
generic.
written part,
It doesn't have
right?
like
Yeah.
human creativity in it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, humans never react how AI believes they would react, right? We don't know how one human would react to a certain situation. Even I don't know how I would react to a situation, right, in my life. So, and if a AI is writing those things, believing that this would how someone would react or this is how someone would not react, there is something missing there. And I think I maybe it get trained better than it can do it as well. Who knows? But that's one thing that I particularly don't like. Although it's helping me with designing if I want to create something. So for people like me that have no talent at all at art or craft or even writing, for us it's helpful. Getting prompts and how to express something in a professional way if we want. So I will always say like humans will always be needed, right? I know that there was a big writer guilds strike in US about the use of AI in AI technology in writing and even replacing taking people's likeness and replacing it. Many celebrities have done the same thing.
Oh
They
yeah.
have Scarlett Johansson, Anil Kapoor here. They have gone to court so that AI can't use their likeness ever and put them in scenes where they won't be or they should not be. It's a pretty complicated topic. There are a lot of yes and no. I can look at it from both the angles, but I think time will tell mostly.
Yeah, there's a lot of ethical dilemmas and issues with the
Yeah.
usage of AIs.
We are not sure, right? We are not sure.
Yeah. So, going off of that, should the growth of AI technology be prevented or promoted?
That's interesting. See, I have always been of. I mean, I am a technophile. Is that a word? Someone who loves technology. I don't know what do you call him.
I mean, it
I've
basically
always
counts as a
been
word.
Yeah, right. I mean, I have always been someone. Whenever a new technology comes in the market, same thing happened with blockchain and cryptocurrency when they got here. I learned everything about them, how they work, what they are. I loved the idea, not with the cryptocurrency thing, but how it can be used in security and all other purposes and shared processing, all that. Right? That's what I loved about it, not the crypto part.
Well, yeah.
So, right? And that was a big thing, right? Just, I would say only even 5 years back, right? It was a big thing, cryptocurrencies. It still is. Bitcoin is like a generational asset at this point. So I've always been of the idea that new technologies, whatever they come, they need to grow, whatever they be. AI also, I believe, it will keep on growing, and I think it should keep on growing. See, but I don't know. I think maybe we need to make people understand more how to use it in the right way.
Like better education.
Right? Yeah. We need people like mobile phones, right? When it got there, people did not know what did you just get in your hand? Smartphones, right?
Yeah.
You essentially got a whole computer in your hand. You can do anything with it at this point. You don't need a laptop or a PC.
But no one knew.
But no one knew, right? We were just using it for calls and photos at that point. But no, I mean, you can make spreadsheets. You can take meetings at this point. You can, complete your work and even you can log into your anything, right? Bank accounts, everything you can control from this particular piece of technology. Same thing is with AI. We need better education for people on what it is and how to use it properly, ethical decisions need to be made. Like we know, right? That photo and video generation is being used in the wrong places by the wrong people. That's not correct.
Yeah.
That's, that needs to stop somehow. Either companies need to come with policies on stopping it. Many have. I won't say they are not doing. Of course, many prompts AI don't answer you. And I think, and I'm pretty sure slowly as it goes on, like with the data, right? When data became a big issue in EU and US, everyone summoned these big tech giants, CEOs, and asked them like how data privacy is happening. Same thing will happen with AI at some point, where every government of the country will look into what kind of laws to impose on this particular technology.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's what I think will happen, or may not happen. I mean, again, I'm just someone sitting in Jaipur giving my opinions. They may be correct, they may be not. But that's just what I think.
Yeah. Well, what about this? Slightly more specific version. Should governments fund more AI technology development?
This is also one thing I've always thought about. Like, if it is such a big thing and it's almost going to become a part of our life going on, should government also start funding it? You know what? I won't think many pros and cons on it, but I think they should. I mean, see, any technology, AI is not a particular company, right?
Right.
It's not a particular company that we are talking about. We are talking about a technology here.
Yeah.
A technology that now, with the models available, and we can train, right? Even you and I, if we sit together for a week, we can train our own models. That will give prompts and responses to people. So, if government, I don't know if they should fund it or not, man. That's a really big thing, because companies are already funding it, right? Big companies taking money from investors and funding it, and it's needed. Not sure about it.
What about not necessarily? Yeah, what were you saying?
Because when they fund it, government can get integrated into this infrastructure of AI somehow. Right? If they fund it, they know what's being developed. If they know what's being developed, they know its pros and cons. And they can regulate it better then. Although that sometimes leads to it opens a whole new can of worms sometimes. Governments regulating technology. Right? Because then they would like to use it in their own way. Everyone wants to use something for their own gain, right?
Yeah,
so it's a pretty complicated topic. I would say they should. I would also say they shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's move on to a new topic. So for your personal life, how do you navigate disagreeing with your parents?
So it has changed over the years, and as I'm mature and got to understand their point of view, right? So, I'll say this first of all. I never had much disagreements with my parents since the beginning. They have almost always been supportive of my decision for my life, especially almost in the education thing, right? And I have had this life where they... just a second, I got a call. Let me cut it. Sorry. So, they have given me freedom slowly. Like, when I was till 5th or 8th standard, I was asked to sleep at a particular time, wake up at a particular time, and do things at a particular time, right? And I was doing that. I was okay with it. Maybe I used to think that my friends are they are sleeping late, they are waking up late, and they roam around, at night. I had this rule where I had to be back at home before 8:30 at night. Anyhow, when I got into higher standards, like high school, we would say, right? 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever. Then suddenly I got more freedom. They stopped caring about my bedtime. They were like, okay, now you need to study more. So you can stay up as late you want, and you can. I got that freedom again. There was nothing to disagree at this point. They gave me that freedom. I would say the disagreements mostly happen when I think they are not doing something right for them.
Ah, interesting.
Right? So, like, let's say they are ill. Okay, they got some. Okay, so they believe they can be treated in particular way. I think they should not do that. They should go to the doctor or get checked. Don't do this. Or even sometimes how people interact with them and they interact with people. I don't like that. Like some particular person, like my mother is a teacher, right? So in the school, some particular person said something to her. I don't like what he said. I'm telling her, say this back to him, and you should not take this and all that. But she's like, oh, what can he do to me? She's pretty chill and almost like whatever happens to me will happen, and nothing, nobody can do anything to me, right? So that's how she's always been. So she doesn't care if somebody says something to her. She will just stop talking to that person. That's something I've also learned. You don't need to reply to every naysayer. If they're saying if they don't like you, just stop talking to them. That's it. You don't need to prove anyone your worth, right? That's the main reason there have not been much disagreements. She has been like this with me as well. If I say something right, she doesn't like, she will ask me almost like, was that right of you? She won't shout at me. She will just ask me, was that right of you? Give me time to internalize, like if that, whatever I said to her, that was not right. Was it something I should have said? And then almost most of the time I apologize, right? Of course, I should not have done that. That's why disagreements have not been. I'll say I'm one of the lucky cases. At this point, I know, I know from my friends as well, they have parents that criticize every aspect of their life, everything they want to control, right? And they tell me like how it's happening, and they even tell me how lucky I am to get the parents that give me opportunity to explore.
Yeah.
At this point. So I would say that's why I can't give an answer for this one, because I have not faced that many disagreements with my parents on what I wanted to do. So I'm lucky at that point. I'm lucky, I guess.
Yeah. So, next question. Who would you go to for personal advice?
Personal advice is always my mother. Always my mother. She's the first one I go to. Personal advice. Even if I'm thinking about like, is this job right for me now? What should I do? Should I buy this new piece of clothing? Then also I ask her. I've had disagreement with my friend. What do you think about this? Mostly she just listens. She gives advice rarely. She almost lets me sort it out.
Yeah.
And if she thinks that I have said something right, again, moral policing. If she thinks now I'm going in the wrong direction, then only she will stop me. Otherwise, she almost. So that has always been the first person for personal advice, I would say. And personal advice, only mother. I like solving my issues myself. I've always been like that. I don't know if that's healthy or not. So I don't go much for personal advice. I mostly go for, even to my mother, I mostly go to tell her what I'm going to do. Just to get her inputs on what she thinks about this. That's mostly what I do. Even among my friends, I have friends, we have been friends in school, we are still together. We know each other, everything about each other, almost. And we tell our problems to each other. But even to them, I don't go to seek for advice. I just want someone to listen. That's just how I've always been.
Yeah.
And then I think it's working for me. It's working for me. I'm a pretty happy chap. I would find that's a weird thing to say for one, but I mostly say positive and happy.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So, last question. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone joining the computer science field?
Mm. I've thought about this a lot. Like, what would I tell someone that he should not do that I did, right? My one advice, it's always been, many of my juniors connect with me on LinkedIn, right? They ask me. So in our college, we call the seniors sir, right? They always write sir. And it has been a tradition, sir and ma'am. So they always write, sir, like this, and I'm working on this and this. I would say first of one thing that I've always said is in the initial years, explore. Explore as many technologies as you want to. Okay, don't come into this field thinking that I'll be only a full stack developer, I'll be a cloud engineer, I'll work on AI, I'll work on blockchain. Don't come in thinking that. Okay, explore as much as you can. You need to explore. If you don't explore, you won't know what's out there, right? You won't know what you're good at or what interests you.
Yeah.
Explore. When you find something that interests you, then you can start sticking with it. Because see, what we are taught in college and what we work on in company, it's almost like a difference of Mount Everest and my home, right? That's much height difference is there. It's a comparison, stupid comparison that I just did, but that's what there is. It's a lot different. So just explore, learn how to solve problems is the second thing. Solve problems. Learn how to solve problems anywhere, even in your daily life. If you learn how to solve problems, right, it will help you. It has helped me a lot. Second thing. Okay, now there will be four advices as I'm going on, I can see. Third thing is, I see a lot of new folks, new kids coming around and learning as many languages as possible. There are number of programming languages, right?
Yeah.
People pick up every language that they see. That's stupid even, I would say. You don't need that. Learn programming concepts. It's the same for every language. Every language differs in syntax. Then there are some added features that every language has. But there will always be the starting basic programming language, your loops, your if-else statements, your variables, your constants, and everything. It's the same for every language. Don't pick every language out there and learn that. I have had people telling me, sir, I've learned Python, Java, C, C++, JavaScript. Now what should I do? I tell him you could have just gone for C, or even Python, whatever would work for you. Then you can, you don't need all of this. Just one language. Fourth is DSA. I don't know how it would, since AI again is changing, the DSA is data structure and algorithms. Okay, it's a topic, very wide topic. I mean, when companies usually take interview, they ask you questions from that topic, almost always. It's like, if I dumb it down to explain it, or not simple, don't dumb it down is not the correct way how to say it. Simple terms, it's like giving someone a puzzle and asking them to solve it through coding. That's what data structure and algorithms does. Okay, that particular topic. So that mostly companies ask them to see how you solve a problem, how you approach a problem, and if you get an issue while solving the problem, how you solve that issue in that problem.
Yeah.
So DSA is a very important thing that you should give. It unlocks your mind as well to new possibilities when you are coding. I have lost track of what I was advising, but these are something I would always tell younger people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I can recap, so explore before selecting what technology. Second is learn only one language. Don't go everywhere. Try solving problems, data structure algorithms. Right? These four problems.
Yeah. Good advice. Yeah.
Also enjoy your college life. That's also what I'm saying.
Yeah. Thank you for participating in this. Yeah.
Yeah.